Welcome to IAS project. This video is basically an introduction to Indus Valley Civilization. Before we talk about Indus Valley Civilization, let me ask you a simple question. Consider the below statements regarding Indus Civilization. Two statements have been given here, and the question is which of the above statements are correct. The first statement is Harappa is the oldest site in Indus Civilization. The second statement is Mohenjo-daro is the largest site in Indus Civilization. Four options have been given. If you know the answer, you can answer in the comment section. You will be learning about this answer in this video. Metal Age can be divided into three parts. The first part is Chalcolithic Age, which is also called as Copper Stone Age. The second part is Bronze Age, and the third part is Iron Age. So if we see here, Bronze Age usually comes after Chalcolithic Age. However, in this video, we are talking first about Indus Civilization. We know that Indus Civilization is a Bronze Age culture. In our previous videos, we have talked about Stone Age. So why are we discussing Bronze Age after Stone Age? That is a good question. And the answer is very simple. Because Indus Civilization is older than many Chalcolithic cultures in Indian subcontinent. That is why first we will be learning about Indus Civilization, and with that knowledge, we will learn about Chalcolithic culture. I agree that this is not the usual order because Chalcolithic Age comes first and then Bronze Age comes. But in the case of Indian subcontinent, Harappan Bronze Age culture is actually older than many Chalcolithic cultures in India. That is why if we get the knowledge of Harappan Bronze Age culture first, then we can use that knowledge to understand Chalcolithic cultures which happened after Harappan culture. Okay, so Indus Civilization is a Bronze Age culture. So did the Indus people use copper before bronze? Yes, they used copper. However, when we talk about Indus culture, we can divide Indus culture into many parts again. In the earliest part of Indus culture, people used only copper. Those kind of Indus cultures are actually Chalcolithic cultures. We will be talking about them also. So these people who used copper tools before the Bronze Age started in Indus region, these people were mainly living in the hilly areas near Indus plains. They were basically Chalcolithic people, and with time what they did was they have learned how to use bronze. Once they learned how to use bronze, they used bronze on a large scale and made bronze tools and implements. That is how these Chalcolithic cultures near Indus plains transformed into Harappan Bronze Age culture, or we can say Indus Civilization, which was a Bronze Age civilization. So I just said Harappan Civilization. Initially I said Indus Civilization. If you read books, you will usually find the term Indus Valley Civilization. So which of this is correct? The answer would be all are correct. However, they had different meanings at different points of time. For example, Harappa was the first Indus Civilization city to be discovered by modern people. Almost 150 years ago, there was a person called Sir Alexander Cunningham. Sir Alexander Cunningham actually was the first Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. This person discovered the Harappa site. So at that time, that is 150 years ago, they did not know about the other sites of Indus Civilization or Indus culture. That is why they simply named the civilization as Harappan Civilization because it was first discovered at Harappa and they did not have knowledge of any other sites. Eventually what happened was many settlements similar to Harappa started to be discovered, and they were discovered in and around Indus Valley, and that is why they now started to call it as Indus Valley Civilization or Indus Valley culture. After independence of India, what happened was many settlements started to be excavated, and most of these settlements are actually away from the Indus Valley, but some of them are still in the plains of Indus rivers and its tributaries. That is why they renamed the civilization as Indus Civilization instead of Indus Valley Civilization. So as of today, Indus Civilization would be the perfect name to call this civilization or this culture. However, even if you write Harappan Civilization or Indus Valley Civilization, it is still okay. And now you know how these names Harappan Civilization, Indus Valley Civilization and Indus Civilization came. Let's talk about what is the geographical extent of Indus Civilization. Meaning, in what area do we find Indus Civilization settlements today? In this map, you can see the geographical extent of Indus Civilization. It is nothing but the hashed area here. This area is almost 8 lakh square kilometers. If we talk about the borders of Indus civilization, then you can see here on the west we have the settlement of Sutka Gendor. Sutka Gendor is basically located in Balochistan, which is a province in Pakistan. In the north, you can see Shortugai, which is present in Afghanistan. So we can consider Shortugai in Afghanistan as the northernmost point of Indus Valley civilization. But if you want to know what is the northernmost point of Indus civilization in India, then it would be Manda, which is located in Jammu and Kashmir. So in the north, we have two extremities. In case of India, it is Manda, which is located in Jammu and Kashmir. If you want to know overall what is the northernmost point of Indus civilization, then it would be Shortugai, which is located in Afghanistan. In the east, we have the settlement of Alamgirpur, which is present in Uttar Pradesh. You can see Alamgirpur over here. Alamgirpur is basically located near to river Yamuna. So you can see that although the culture is named after Indus, the cities or settlements are located in the Indo-Gangetic plain. That is nothing but Indus and Gangetic plains. If we talk about the border in the south, then the southernmost settlement or the southernmost site of Indus civilization is Daimabad, which is located in Maharashtra. So please try to remember all these from the point of view of prelims exam. We have Shortugai and Manda in the north. We have Sutka Gendor, which is located in Pakistan in the east. We have Daimabad, which is located in Maharashtra in the south. And towards the east, we have Alamgirpur, which is located in Uttar Pradesh. If we compare the geographical area of Harappan civilization with other contemporary ancient bronze civilizations, then we know that Harappan civilization is actually the largest of all these civilizations, which means that Harappan civilization is larger than ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Egypt, ancient China, as well as Minoan civilization. We have talked about the location of all these in our previous video. So if you want to see briefly, these are the locations of ancient Bronze Age civilizations. We have Harappan civilization over here, Mesopotamian civilization over here, and Egyptian civilization over here. These three civilizations are actually the oldest civilizations. And the other two civilizations, that is ancient Chinese civilization and Minoan civilizations, generally started after Indus Valley civilization. So Harappan civilization was basically the largest of all these civilizations. We have just learned that Harappan civilization occupied an area of almost 8 lakh square kilometers. What is the geographical area of India? It is 33 lakh square kilometers. So if you compare Harappan civilization with the geographical area of India, then you can see that Harappan civilization is almost 25% of the geographical area of India. As of today, we have excavated more than 1400 Indus Valley civilization sites. And within this 1400, almost 925 sites are located in India. And almost 475 sites are located in Pakistan. We must also note that Indus civilization people have also built sites in Afghanistan. These Indus civilization sites in Afghanistan were mainly used as trading posts. Let's see some prelims related information here. If we talk about the oldest Indus Valley site, then it would be Bhirana, which is located in Haryana. This is almost 8,000 to 9,000 years old. If we talk about the largest Indus Valley site, then that would be Raki Ghadi, which is again located in Haryana. So Harappan culture can be divided basically into three phases. The first part is called as pre-Harappan culture. Sometimes it is also called as early Harappan culture. This pre-Harappan culture is basically a Chalcolithic culture. The second part of Harappan civilization or Harappan culture is nothing but mature Harappan phase, or we can call it as the Harappan culture. So when we say just Harappan culture, it indirectly means that we are talking about mature Harappan phase of Harappan civilization. Please remember, this is very, very important. When you read in a book and the term is just saying Harappan culture, then it always refers to mature Harappan phase. Even in the lectures on IAS project also, when we just say Harappan culture, it will refer to mature Harappan phase. And when did mature Harappan phase occur? It occurred between 2600 BCE and 1900 BCE. The third part and the last part of Harappan civilization is called as late Harappan phase, which is nothing but a sub-Indus culture. During the late Harappan phase or the sub-Indus culture, there was actually a decline from the mature Harappan phase. Therefore, late Harappan phase or sub-Indus culture is again a Chalcolithic culture. So in these three phases, only the mature Harappan culture is a Bronze Age. Both the pre-Harappan phase as well as the late Harappan phase are Chalcolithic cultures. I am only giving you an introduction at this point. In the coming lectures, we will be talking about these three phases in detail. So what is the significance of Indus civilization? The first significance is that Indus civilization was the first urban civilization in the subcontinent. What do we mean by urban? Urban simply means that most of the people are not engaged in agriculture, and therefore most of these people are having occupations other than agriculture, like they are making pottery, or they are coppersmiths or bronze smiths, or they are making art items, or they are carpenters, or they may be engaged in trade activities. Also, people in urban civilizations lived in cities. So Indus civilization, or I can say mature Indus civilization, is basically the first urban civilization in the Indian subcontinent, and people in Indus civilization lived in cities. Before Indus civilization, there was no urban civilization in India. Indus civilization was also the first civilization to use bronze on a large scale within the Indian subcontinent. Also, Harappans were the first people to use script. Harappan script, as we know, it has not been deciphered yet. However, the script is more than 4,500 years old. Before Harappa, we do not find any kind of script in the Indian subcontinent. That is why Harappa marks a distinct development in terms of literary evidences from prehistoric period. Since Indus civilization is an urban civilization, these people were also the first people to develop planned towns, stone weights and seals, and baked bricks. And all these indicate that they had proper planning and they had proper standardization. What do we mean by standardization? For example, stone weights were similar in all the cities of Indus civilization. Similarly, baked bricks also were of similar size in all the Indus Valley civilization. This is nothing but standardization. Such kind of standardization was not there before Indus civilization. Indus people also made stone sculptures, terracotta art and toys, copper and bronze sculptures, beads, bangles and other ornaments. What is terracotta? Terracotta is nothing but fire baked clay. So what you do is you generally make some kind of art piece or toys using wet clay, and once the toy is made using wet clay, you put that wet clay in the fire, and when it is put in the fire, it hardens. That is called as terracotta. So terracotta is nothing but fire baked clay. Indus civilization people made all these things. So we can appreciate the artistic nature of Indus civilization people. Before Indus civilization, people were mainly survivors. For example, they usually did not make sculptures and toys because there was no utility for sculptures for, let's say, Stone Age people. Stone Age people were more interested in what tools should we make and what utensils should we make and all those. They were not interested in making sculptures and toys and art pieces. So this is the main difference between Indus culture and the cultures before Indus culture. Moreover, Indus civilization people also undertook large scale construction. For example, they built fortified cities, which means that they made walls around cities, probably to protect themselves from attacks by other people. They also built dockyards. They built water reservoirs and canals. They also built various public buildings. For example, you must know about Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro. Great Bath of Mohenjo-daro is basically a public building because it was used by normal public. Similarly, they also built huge granaries so that they could store their food grain. For doing all this, they mobilized labor to a great extent. This kind of coordinated building activity was not there before Indus civilization. Indus people also had knowledge of monsoon. They used this knowledge of monsoon in their agriculture also. For example, they knew when Indus River is going to flood. Immediately after rains, Indus River is going to flood. So what they did was, once the flood waters receded, they planted grain on the Indus plains. And just before Indus was going to flood again, they collected their harvest. So this is how they used their knowledge of monsoons and flooding of river Indus to grow their crops. They also developed plough because we have evidences of ploughed fields from Indus Valley sites. They conducted trade with ancient Mesopotamians, and they conducted this trade through land route as well as sea route. Therefore, they had the knowledge of navigation of ships also. And we have evidences that they built ships. Moreover, they also maintained trading outposts on the outskirts of Indus region. For example, we know in Afghanistan there are trading outposts. For example, Shortugai. So we can see how important was trade for these people. They also developed painted pottery. We will see more about this in the coming lectures. They also had religious beliefs because we have found statues and sculptures of Mother Goddess. We have found seals which show Proto Shiva or Pashupati Deva. They also worshipped animals and plants. Before Indus civilization, we do not know whether people had any kind of religious beliefs or not. So this is what is the significance of Indus civilization is. In our next video, we will start with early Harappan culture. If you like this video, please subscribe. You can download the notes on our Telegram channel. The name of our Telegram channel is IAS Project. You can find the link for this Telegram channel in the description below.